What's up guys, Mitchell Watts with Town & Country TV. Today I'm excited to bring you this little video showcasing the new 2021 Ford F-150. This is the limited trim and it also has the PowerBoost model, or the PowerBoost powertrain rather. So what we're going to do in this video is a couple different things. Give you an entire overview of the limited model, show you a little bit more details as far as the PowerBoost is concerned, and in this video we are going to go over some things you've probably never heard about the new 2021 F-150. And that is coming up next on Town & Country TV. Before we get into the video, I need to let you know that Town & Country Ford is giving away this brand new Bronco Sport. And with the help of TC Customs, we're going to be completely tricking it out as well. Now, the contest at the time I'm making this video has not actually been released to the public. So if you want to be the first to be notified when this contest goes live and how you can enter to win, make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel with that bell notification turned on. So as you can probably see, and you've seen in every single one of the video reviews up until this point, but everything on this truck is brand new. Ford is telling us 93% of this vehicle is completely different than the previous generation. In fact, every piece of sheet metal is also different. Now, speaking of sheet metal itself, this is going to be a military grade aluminum alloy body. Same thing as what's been in the previous generations. In fact, it's actually a 6022 aluminum, and it's actually twice as hard as 280 steel. And you know what? It actually costs a whole lot less to repair it as well. Now, the other thing about the actual F-150 that you need to realize is actually, typically speaking, a lot less to insure this vehicle than it is to insure a steel counterpart. Why in the world would that be? Is it easier to fix? Yeah, I guess you could say that because a lot of these panels are removable and swappable, and it's more modular as far as the repair is concerned. But realistically, if this vehicle gets totaled out, think about it. That aluminum is worth more as raw aluminum than it would be worth as raw steel. So that is kind of something that's a little bit unique that I've not actually seen or really realized until we started doing that information and doing that search. And by the way, I want to say a huge thank you to Ford Motor Company. This is actually a pre-production prototype vehicle. This is number 6 in the world for the limited model. So that's pretty cool. This is not a vehicle that is for sale, but it's actually the vehicle that they bring to dealerships to do their training. And this truck has been rode hard and hung out to dry. In fact, let's just take a look at it. Come on in and let's take a look at these tires. So first off, before we look at the tires, these wheels, they are 22-inch wheels. That's the limited wheel that you'll find on these particular vehicles. But you can see it a little bit better on the other side. Let's come on this side and I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. This truck has 3,700 miles, and you can see the the tread. Yeah, this thing has been rode hard and hung up to dry. So they've been doing it in torture tests. They've been using this vehicle in all kinds of off-roading situations. They basically put this thing through its paces to ensure that Ford is going to be putting out a good product to the end consumer. So pretty cool stuff there. Now, we can talk about all of the stuff that's obvious, that the body panels are different and things like that, but I want to focus on stuff that I've not seen in other YouTube videos. For instance, like these vents right here. I haven't really seen anybody talking about the fact that the vents are actually functional. And so it does allow physical heat when you crank the vehicle up. It allows heat to extract out from the actual engine compartment. So pretty cool stuff there. Now this is going to be obviously the limited model. This is the top tier version of the Ford F-150. And with that, you automatically get your power deployable steps. Now this one, because it is a pre-production prototype, it's got a glitch in it. The power steps don't actually move in and move out. So that's kind of a fun little nuance that you're getting to see because it's pre-production. But the cool part about it is because this thing has the push button start, if I've got the keys in my pocket and the vehicle's armed, as I walk up, in fact, let's just go ahead and demonstrate that right now. So as I've got the vehicle locked up, right? The keys are locked up. I'm gonna put the keys in my pocket. And as I walk to the vehicle will actually greet me, which is pretty cool. All the lights will turn on, which will be a little hard to see because it's so sunny out right now. But if it was nighttime, or if the vehicle's power deployable running boards were working right now, once again, it's a pre-production prototype, it would automatically turn all the lights on and extend the running boards without me even having to do anything but walk closer to it. So as I walk closer, look at the headlights. they will automatically kick on as I get close to the vehicle itself. So pretty cool stuff there. I don't know if you can actually see it because it's so bright, but those lights are on. Once again, it's just so bright outside. But it's a really neat thing that the Ford F-150 now greets you as you walk up to the vehicle. And you can see, because this is the limited trim, you've got this, is the mirrors automatically folded in. The second I stick my hand in there, guess what? Automatically opens up. That way, if I'm parked next to a whole bunch of other people, I'm not having to dodge these mirrors to get into the truck. So it's a pretty cool little setup. And as I lock the vehicle back, it's going to automatically fold back in place. So pretty cool little setup there, if you will. So you've got your exhaust, not a whole lot of fun stuff going on there. Once again, you can see 100 million videos on these trucks and kind of see a lot of information. You've got your power tailgate. Now, the other cool part about this is power down, power up. Oh, that's just a waste. Why can't you lift your own tailgate? Well, if you work out of the truck, you have the ability to grab your stuff and then walk away, and so you can literally close the tailgate with absolutely no hands. I think that's pretty cool. It's a nice little feature, and by the way, it also does remotely go up and down, so you can use the remote, you can use the button, or you can physically lift it. So there's that. Now, we're going to talk about the Pro Power Onboard here in just a few minutes, but I want to show you another feature that you've probably not heard about, and that is going to be the gas tank. So first off, because it's Pro Power Onboard, well, not because it's Pro Power Onboard, because it's the 3.5 PowerBoost, which is, by the way, is the 3.5 EcoBoost with a hybrid powertrain inside the transmission case. You can't access the gas cap. Why is that? Because it's a hybrid, it's actually pressurized, and it might take a second to actually get into it. So there's actually a gas release nozzle, or gas cap release nozzle inside the vehicle. Once you hit that button, it'll automatically open up once it's done depressurizing. Pretty cool feature that I didn't realize until the training today. So once again, huge thanks to Dig Makow, our Ford trainer, and thanks to Ford for sending him down our way. We always learn a lot of really cool information about that. But so let's talk about that for a second. So because this thing is the 3.5 PowerBoost, you actually get more of a range. I think Ford is estimating through 720 miles on a single tank of gas. Now keep in mind, the cool part about that is that's not even rocking a 36-gallon tank. Because this vehicle has a lithium-ion battery, I think it's 1.2 kilowatts, which is not a lot, but it's enough, and I'll tell you why in a second. But that space actually takes up some of the space of the gas tank. And so the fact that they're able to get a 720-mile range is pretty stinking cool. They say that's the equivalent of basically Atlanta to Chicago on a single tank of gas. Not too shabby there. But let's do this. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Pro Power Onboard and kind of show you some of the features about that. I absolutely love this setup, especially if you're going to be working out of the vehicle. So the Pro Power Onboard has got a couple different things. You've got the Pro Power Onboard is available on most of your engine options. I found out that it's not available on things like your diesels, and there's a couple of nuances there, but it's available on the 5.0 V8, it's available on the 3.5 EcoBoost, and then when you step up to the 3.5 PowerBoost, which is the hybrid, once again, it gives you the ability to go all the way up to 7.2 kilowatts of power. Now, what does that exactly mean to you? That basically means you can run 7,200 watts of continuous power at one time. That is insane. Now, Ford is not allowed to advertise this, and they're not even saying that you can, and there's some legalities, so I'm not saying this either, but apparently there was some guy on, I guess it was Motor Trend or something, that he used this truck and powered his house, so he says, with this truck. That is pretty stinking cool. And I've seen a couple of videos, like the Fast Lane truck. They did some tests where they actually had powered two campers at the same time. So two full-size RVs at the same time using one of these trucks. Pretty stinking cool stuff there. But you got a couple different things. You got your power outlets right here, 120 volts. You've got, as you can see, another set, so you've got a total of 4 of those right there. You even have your 240 volt location right there. Now, in addition to that, you've got your LED box lighting. That's carried over from the previous version of the F-150. You've got your box link set up, and then you've got your fantastic little tailgate. This is what Ford is spending all their money on marketing and things like that on the truck. Why is this even important? Because Ford is realizing that a lot of people are either working or tailgating out of these trucks, and this accomplishes both. So the first thing you've got, when you order this tailgate step, everything I'm about to mention comes included with this. So you don't get the tailgate step, you don't get almost any of this stuff. You order the tailgate step, it comes exactly like you see on the tailgate itself. And what is that? All right, so the first thing you've got is going to be the ruler. So you have the ability to mark off your woodworking, mark it off, and then you actually have the ability to clamp it down so that way you can cut it off. Now the nice part is since you've got the Pro Power on board, you can power your saws and your power tools and all that kind of stuff right here from the bed location. Now the other thing that it comes with is a place to put your screws and your bolts so you don't lose them, or your favorite beverage, what have you. You have the ability to put your cell phone located right here, or even your iPad, so that way if you need to look at what you're actually doing with your plans, you've got that located right there. It's just a really nice setup. Now the other thing that I mentioned to you, if you're tailgating out of this, why you might find some good use is, you know, if you need to put some wood in the bed of the truck and it's sticking out, you can actually strap it down to the tailgate, so you don't have to worry about the wood leaving. But these things, if you've watched any of our previous videos, you'll know that these little hooks actually double as a bottle opener. So apparently thinks all their customers are drunks, or they just think that they work out of them with lumber. Either way, it's going to be interesting to see how that works. So let's do this. Let's take a look inside of this Limited. All right, on the inside of this Ford F-150, because this is the Limited model, this is the highest trim level that you can possibly find. So a couple things going on in here. You have the navy pure interiors, the only color you can get the Limited in. And in prior years, the bluish kind of an interior was really dadgum blue. This is not nearly so much. You've got a nice gray with a small hint of blue in the center portion, and you've got a much darker gray that also has a blue hint to it. I could actually do this. I don't know that I could use the prior generation of Limited. It was just too blue for me and just too wild. So that's something that you need to realize. Now the F-150 on the King Ranch and above, you have the ability, so King Ranch Platinum and Limited, you have the ability to option for the max recline seats. This particular vehicle does not have them, but if you did, you would raise up the rear seat, fold this one completely flat, the seat bottom comes up to match, and you can even have this portion tilted up for a pseudo kind of a pillow. So if you needed to take a nap or do any other activities inside your vehicle, I don't condone those, but I guess camping, let's just call it camping. That's what Ford wanted to do with this truck. All right, I want to talk about a couple of other things that you might have seen in some of our previous videos, and that is going to be the B&O audio system. So Ford's got they got 3 different audio systems in this new F-150. You've got your normal stereo system that comes on everything on the XLTs and below. Now when you go to the XLT, you have the ability to go to a normal B&O Bang & Olufsen sound system. You have that ability, that's an option on XLTs and above. Then when you get into the higher trim levels, you have things like the B&O Unleashed system, which has roughly, and I'm saying roughly because I don't remember exactly, but it's about 18 different speakers. And I might be butchering this because I'm going off memory, but 1,200 watts worth of power. The thing you need to realize is that it's actually got speakers in the physical headrest. So you can't feel them, you can't see them, but that perforation in the headrest has nothing to do with air-conditioned seats, which this vehicle does have. The perforation is actually to allow the audio to come out of the headrest and directly into your ear. Now the other thing that you see perforated is going to be the speaker up here in the headliner. Yet again, another way that Ford is going to be immersing you in the sound. I will tell you though that this sound system brings a level of quality of audio that most mediums cannot provide. Meaning if you're pulling the music directly from your iPhone, even if it's plugged in, it's not going to have high enough of a quality, chances are. In a lot of the scenarios, you need the actual original file, the high-end version of the file saved and maybe put into the USB port for it to actually play and for you to get all of the high fidelity sound system out of this vehicle itself. A simple AM FM radio is not, you're not going to notice much of a difference because the source is not providing a high enough of a quality of an audio setup. Now let's talk a little bit more about the refinement on the inside. So as I sit down, I'm going to kind of show you guys a couple different things. Now I'm going to go ahead and I've got the push button start. I'm going to hit the push button start and listen. It's not going to crank up. The vehicle is now ready to drive. Why is that? Because this thing is a hybrid. All I have to do is put it in drive and it can actually start going in full electric mode up until you kind of get started. So why is that beneficial? Well, one, it's going to be better for emissions because you have the ability to kind of get started, and then the gasoline counterpart of the engine can actually keep you moving or get you moving even faster. But it's nice that you don't technically, you don't technically have auto start stop in this vehicle anymore, because the engine is constantly auto start stopping. You still have the full ability to get your air conditioner based on that hybrid battery that is going to be underneath the vehicle itself. So yeah, there's a lot going on here, and let's talk about that. And you notice how when I turn that steering wheel, automatically crank the vehicle up? Well, there's a couple different reasons for that, but basically the vehicle is understanding what's going on with it, and you have that ability to operate it from there. Now, here's the cool thing about this setup. You've got the 12-inch premium setup. This is going to be the big thing that everybody's talking about on the new Ford F-150 is this 12-inch screen. Now, you've got your tabs down here where you can look at audio, phone, navigation. This button right here, believe it or not, is set up as a favorite. So you can tab and change what that button is. So let's say that I like to mess with my audio controls a whole lot. Well, I can come in here and hit edit, and I can choose what I want this favorites button to be. So I've got direct access and quick access to whatever it is that is important to me. I love the fact that they gave us a favorites button on the screen. This is the first time that I'm aware of that Ford has done this. Now, you've got your apps located right here, and then you've also got things like your settings and even your features. So a lot of different options there. Pro Power Onboard, when you tab into here, you can see what is going on with the actual Pro Power Onboard. You can turn on generator mode, and the cool part is that you can use the generator mode, exit the vehicle, lock up the vehicle, and allow your guys to work using the power that this truck creates, and you're not even in the vehicle. And the nice part is if you open the Ford Pass app while I'm going and eating lunch, I can see how much power is being used on the truck remotely from my cell phone. So I can see if my workers are actually working, even if I'm nowhere near the truck. So that's pretty cool. I mean, Ford's giving you some next level stalker style stuff. Pretty cool stuff. Now, a couple of other things that Ford is wanting us to talk to each and every one of our customers is going to be these drive modes. And the primary reason, yes, drive modes are nice. It makes it nice for slippery conditions, but really it's a selling point. And let me tell you why. Is because if this vehicle features this gauge cluster like this one does, the 12-inch gauge cluster, as you turn the drive modes, it's got this really cool trick little animation that looks fantastic for every single one of these drive modes. So yeah, you've got drive modes, they're fancy, but really it's a selling pitch to have this really high-end resolution screen, and it can even adjust to sport mode and showcase you on a track. And it even has the ability to automatically change the transfer case of the vehicle as you change the drive mode. Some pretty cool stuff there. Let's talk about a couple different things. The actual cruise control setup. So this vehicle, depending on how you have it equipped, has not only just adaptive cruise control, but it's intelligent adaptive cruise control. So you can actually set the speed to 80 miles an hour or 70 miles an hour, what have you, and you can maintain your distance between you and the vehicle in front of you. In addition to that, this truck has the ability to see the speed limit signs on the road. And you can set it up or you can turn it off. It's up to you. But you have the ability to have the truck adjust the speed based on the speed limit signs that the truck sees while it's driving down the road. So, and you can even set up tolerances over here in this screen. So if I come into settings, and it might be under features, I can't remember. Yeah, driver assistance. And so what I can do is I can turn the intelligent cruise control on, but if I go in here, I can set up a tolerance. So that way he's got it set up at 7-mile tolerance. So if the speed limit sign says 70, the truck will automatically adjust the speed to 77 miles an hour. If you say, you know what, I'm conservative and I don't like to drive faster than the speed limit, I can say, hey, you know what, I want this intelligent adaptive cruise control to go 1 mile per hour slower than the speed limit no matter what. And so it uses a couple different things. It can use the maps data for the speed limit, but it can also use the camera that's located up in the instrument, not in the instrument cluster, but up here in the windshield to check and make sure that we're looking at the right speed limit sign. Now, while you are actually looking at this location, Josh, look at the camera up there. Josh got distracted. The cameraman got distracted. But you'll notice, what is this? Like most people are, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. That is a camera of sorts. So you might be wondering, what is this over here? That is a camera of sorts. So this vehicle is not only featured with the Intelligent Adaptive Cruise Control System, but it is also featuring what Ford is calling their Ford Co-Pilot Assist Prep Package, meaning this vehicle has the hardware in place to do completely hands-free, feet-free driving on certain sections of divided road, basically on the interstate. And it's 130,000 miles of road that's mapped out right now that system will actually operate on. And what's going to happen is Ford is going to use an over-the-air update. So basically a playbook directly out of Tesla, where they're going to push the update down to the vehicle to give you that functionality without you even have to go into the dealership, which is pretty stinking cool. Now, the other thing is that you do have to pay for that. So word on the street right now is there is a $600 fee to download that update. So you not only have the cost of the hardware when you bought the truck, but you got an extra $600 fee to have that software pushed to your vehicle. It is totally optional. You don't have to do it. But I also heard that there's going to be a $100 rebate coming out of that. So meaning that it's going to cost you $500. All right, let's take a look at a couple of other things on here in the instrument cluster. You'll notice that you've got this nice metal look to it. So Ford really stepped up the fit and the finish on the interior of the truck. The 2020 wasn't bad, but as you guys know, there were some of the features in some of these other vehicles, like the Ram, and not really the Chevrolet, but a little bit. But everybody has been stepping up their interior. This is Ford's response to that. So you've got the premium metals, you've got the 12-inch screen, you've got your location buttons up here. You even have a secondary glove box in addition to your primary glove box. And once again, pre-production prototype. Don't pay any attention to some of the random stuff that's in this glove box, but you can kind of see what's going there. You've got a unique actual version of the dashboard. You've got a nice, it's not textured, it's actually smooth, but it looks textured. You've got a really nice single stitched, actually it might even be a double stitched dashboard. That is actual leather and a soft touch material to go with that. So they really pulled out all the stops as far as the interior fit and finish is concerned. Yeah, there's a couple of other features I want to talk about. We mentioned it in our Lariat video, but this vehicle has the interior work surface. So you tap this button right here, you press this button over here, and you got a nice big space area where you can make your invoices, which for me, I'm wrong-handed. I'm left-handed, so I'd still have to reach over. But if I'm parked and I need to work on my laptop, it's nice. I can do that right here. And you even have your household outlet plug located right here in the dashboard, right next to where that laptop is. So let's say that you get done doing your laptop deal, or let's say you get done making your invoice, right, for work. You open this back up, open it up here, which he's got a lot of his personal stuff in here, but there's a physical hanging file folder set up in here where you can store those invoices inside of the truck, and this little lid actually locks, so you can secure it and keep your workers from accessing invoices they don't need to be seeing. Pretty cool stuff there. But the other thing I want to show you is this F-150, just to prove to you that this is a pre-production prototype. This is number 169. This is the 169th F-150 that they ever made for the 2021. And it's only the 6th limited model. So this is truly, truly a low production number vehicle. Once again, it's never going to get sold to an end consumer. What will probably happen, if I had to guess, once it's done doing its cycle for training, maybe a Ford exec might start driving it. And then maybe it goes into research and development for long-term testing. Hey, how did this vehicle fare? Was there any breakages? Was there any failures? That kind of thing. And at the end of the day, they're going to crush it. So yeah, how about crushing a $70,000 truck? Does that make anybody else's stomach hurt? Me, just a little bit. Let's do this. Let's take a look at the back seat and show you what you got there. All right, on the back seat of the truck, there's a couple of really cool things going on. At first glance, the seat looks very, very similar to the prior generation of the Ford F-150. You've got a ton of cup holders. We counted it out in the last one. I think it was 9 cup holders for 2 people in this back seat. So you got plenty of cup holders for you. But one of the things that I particularly love about this truck is going to be the load flat floor. So you've got the load flat floor, that's carried over or what have you, but this is what I'm talking about. You actually have the ability to lock and unlock. If I would pull it the right direction, that you would see what's going on. So you have the ability to store stuff inside of the bed of this, in the cab of this vehicle. So I think it's pretty sweet. I think it's pretty cool. You've obviously got your twin panel moonroof, but I want to talk about a couple of other things that's really pertaining to the outside of the vehicle. So what you may not realize is that Ford has redesigned the cab of this vehicle for aerodynamics. So you'll notice that first off that the mirrors were a different shape. We didn't really talk about that much, but you know, they fold, but they're a different shape for aerodynamics. You've also got a different mold end design right here that's designed to push out the air away from this B-pillar for aerodynamics. But everything here is designed to create better aerodynamics. And one thing you'll notice is that the tailgate itself is thicker back here. That is actually not because of the tailgate step. The reason for that is because the aerodynamics of the truck were designed to allow, when you're on the interstate, for the air to come out and land about right here. So when you're inside of the bed of the truck doing 70 miles an hour, you're barely going to feel any wind because the turbulence is going straight to back here and then back off. You'll notice this extra lip located right here, yet again, for aerodynamics. And there's a police officer. Somebody fixing to get busted. Look at there. You're not gonna turn the camera?
Too late now.
Okay, well, I guess we can just keep on going there. But yeah, somebody is faux show getting pulled over or something. Anyways, all right, the truck, let's stay focused, But yeah, that's what it's all about aerodynamics. And why is that? For better fuel economy. This truck, as equipped, gets 24 miles a gallon in the city and on the highway. Is that fantastic? Is it a Prius? Absolutely not. But you also can't power your house with a Prius. So, you know, this is the perfect combination of utility, of horsepower and torque. By the way, 570 pound-feet of torque. Shut your face. Shut your face. That's a ton of power. I just realized I kind of sounded like Dave Chappelle there, and I apologize if I did. But anyways, you've got plenty of power. You've got plenty of opportunity to work out of the vehicle. You've got the luxury elements. I don't know what else that you need out of a truck. Okay, so maybe I lied. There's plenty of other things you might want out of this truck, and it actually has those. So let's talk about those. So pulling a trailer, right? This truck is designed to tow up to 12,700 pounds as it's equipped with the max trailer tow package and the PowerBoost and all that kind of stuff. The truck can actually, if it's just a normal 3.5 EcoBoost, it can tow up to 14,000 pounds. Well, if this is, and we're gonna talk about the engine here in a second, this is an EcoBoost with a hybrid battery built into it. Why does this tow less than the normal 3.5 EcoBoost? Well, the reason for that is the batteries have extra weight to the vehicle. When you have extra weight to the vehicle, that reduces your towing capacities a little bit. But if you're towing less than 12,700 pounds, and most people are, this is a great option for you. But I kind of got off on a tangent. Let's talk about why you even care about some of these cool towing technologies. So now you hook up the truck and the trailer together, you're towing, let's say you stop at a hotel and you're going to sleep, right? Well, if someone decides to try and jank your trailer and they cut the wires or they unplug it, you actually can get notified from your cell phone, from this Ford Pass Connect app, the Ford Pass app, that someone is trying to steal your trailer. Because keep in mind, the truck is connected to the cloud, the internet, and if the truck has the ability to see that, you know what, someone's trying to steal the trailer, it can send it to the internet and then back into your phone, so you'll get real-time notified if someone's trying to jank your trailer. I think that's pretty cool. And speaking of trailer, you know, Ford has had it, I don't even want to quote it, but I'm guessing 2015, they had the Pro Trailer Backup Assist, meaning you had this little knob that if you're backing up the trailer, you know, a lot of people, like my wife, I'm not going to ask her to back up a trailer, but if I had this button turned on, you actually can simply turn the knob this way and it will back the trailer in that direction. It makes an inexperienced person better at backing up a trailer. Well, but the problem with that is you had to take a sticker, you had to place it on the trailer, you had to do some kind of measurements and, you know, load all those measurements in the vehicle. By the way, that is still available, but now Ford has given us the ability to mount a yaw sensor directly to the trailer, and the truck figures everything out for you. You literally mount this sensor to the truck, Hop in it, crank it up, back up, you're good to go. I mean, it's literally that easy. Another cool feature of the new 2021 F-150 is the ability to have tire pressure monitoring system set up for your trailer tires, which is really cool. You know, that's a playbook directly out of the Super Duty. Super Duty's had that for a minute. And so what's nice is you put these sensors on the tires of your trailer, and then the truck is reading those sensors for you. But new for the 21 and only available in the F-150 right now, to my knowledge, is those sensors even have the ability to judge how hot the air is inside the tires. Well, if you tow and you've ever had this happen to you, you know why that's important. If the tires heat up too much, guess what? They're going to explode on you. And if you've ever had a blowout on a tire on a trailer, it's not a fun experience. And so thankfully Ford has thought about that, and they give you the ability to monitor the PSI and the heat of the tires themselves. Tell you what, let's take a look at the front end of the truck one more time. As I was talking just then, I remembered something that we didn't mention that I wanted to mention to you, and that is going to be this front air dam. So you'll notice that this front air dam is designed for aerodynamics. Yeah, okay, big whoop. But did you realize that there is a motorized air dam behind it that will drop down even further? Now, I can't demonstrate this for you unless we're actually driving 40 miles an hour. But I guess if I'm fast enough, Josh can drive and I can just run and then look back and hope he doesn't hit me. He is my brother-in-law, so I'm afraid he might try and hit me. Anyways, that's what you're looking at. It's got a motorized air dam for better fuel efficiency. Now, if you're trying to fit some aggressive wheels and tires on a truck, it might can make things a little more dicey. We still have the ability to trim it up, especially if you know what you're doing, which we do. We do a whole lot of modification too to these vehicles. So if you haven't already done so, subscribe to our YouTube channel with the bell notification. We got constantly builds coming out on these 2021s. In fact, we've got quite a few world's firsts to our knowledge on these F-150s. Like we had the world's first 2021 F-150 on 37s. In fact, Autovlog at the time I'm making this video is even driving that vehicle right now as we're custom building his truck. So pretty cool stuff, and make sure you check those videos out. Pretty cool stuff there. While we're up here, let's talk about the headlights. You've got 3 different versions of the headlights, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember exactly, but starting in the 302A equipment group, you actually get LED lights on the XLT 302A. The Limited has a different version. You've got this LED surround that comes all the way down in here. And if you didn't pay attention to it, that is a big C. That same big C is going to be found on the actual mirrors themselves and also all over the interior. You may not have seen that unless you actually go back and watch some of those videos. Now, the grills themselves, there is a whole ton of grill options on the new F-150. And there's also a lot of wheel options on the new F-150. You have 11 grills available. So just in case Ford didn't think they were making it complicated enough, 11 different grills and 13 different wheels available in all the F-150s. Underneath the hood of this vehicle, now is the time to take a look at that. So I've already mentioned to you, this is the 3.5 liter PowerBoost motor. What does that mean? Now, once again, this thing's got almost 4,000 miles on it, so that's the reason it's a little bit dirty. But you're looking at an EcoBoost powertrain. So it's a 3.5 EcoBoost, which is going to be a twin turbocharged direct and port fuel injection motor. It creates a ton of horsepower, but what you'll notice is there is no electrical motor visible right here. And why is that? I've already mentioned it a little bit. You've got the motor sitting here, then you've got the 10-speed transmission case behind it. Well, inside of that actual transmission case is the actual electric motor to assist the vehicle. And that is one of the reasons that Ford is calling this a full hybrid. So, and the only full hybrid that is available in this segment. So Ram actually offers a hybrid, but it's a partial hybrid, basically meaning that it is belt-driven hybrid. And since it's belt-driven, that means the camshaft has to be moving for the hybrid powertrain to actually work, which means that the Ram cannot, and I'm not bashing Ram at all. They make a great truck. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm just trying to help explain the differences in the different hybrid engines. But the Ram, since it is belt driven and relies on the camshaft, it cannot move an inch in full electric mode. Since this one is completely separate, the engine, the gasoline engine and the electric motor are completely separate, this vehicle can get you moving in up to a slower speed, not nothing crazy, but it can actually get you moving in full electric mode, and then it can kick on the gasoline motor as needed. And obviously with all hybrids, this vehicle does also offer regenerative braking, and it even gives you an instrument cluster. Every time you come to a brake, you can turn this off, but it can remind you of how much of that energy you were able to restore during that regenerative braking. Now there's a lot of different engines available on the F-150, and in the last video that we did on the Lariat model, I actually skipped one, and as soon as I was watching the video back, I was like, oh, I forgot about the 3.0 diesel, Power Stroke diesel. Let me see if I can try and actually remember all of these motors. So you got the 3.3, which is your base model engine that nobody really talks about. You have the 2.7 liter EcoBoost, which is a pretty much carryover engine. You've got the 3.5 EcoBoost, the 5.0 V8. You've got this, which is the 3.5 PowerBoost, and then you almost have the engine, I almost forgot this one again, the 3.0 Power Stroke diesel motor. Now keep in mind that on the diesel and also the base model, I do believe it is, you cannot offer or opt the vehicle with the Pro Power on board. So feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions on how to spec out your vehicle. By the way, we are a Ford dealership in Bessemer and Pell City, Alabama. We never use this channel to try and sell you. My goal in this whole video is to teach you something about this truck and hopefully entertain you. And I realize there's a lot of you guys that will never do business with us, and that's okay. My motto in life is if I can just try and help enough people, I'll never have to worry about money. And so those of you guys that are on the other side of the country, thank you for watching the video. That is enough for us, and we appreciate you sharing it with your friends and your family. But if you do want some information about ordering an F-150 or any other kind of vehicle or modifying your vehicle, the sales department is 205-491-0000, or you can call TC Customs to modify a vehicle that you already own, and that is 205-491-0010. But once again, hear me loud and clear. If you never buy a truck from us and never buy a part from us, we're just glad that you're here and glad you're along for the ride. This is kind of our video on the new 2021 Ford F-150 Limited model. If you found anything valuable in this video, I need you to smash that like button. It's very, very important. And if you haven't already done so, make sure you are subscribed to our YouTube channel with that bell notification turned on, because we're doing a giveaway. We are giving away a Bronco Sport, 100% free to you guys. Now, the contest hasn't been released out to the public yet, meaning that it's going to start, Lord willing and the creek don't rise, it's going to start on February 1. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel so that way you don't miss the announcement of how you can enter to win on that. But yeah, we're giving away a Bronco Sport valued at $35,000 with well, I say $35,000. We don't know that because we haven't written the official rules just yet, but it'll be approximately $35,000. But the cool part is we're going to completely customize it, trick it out before we give it to you. So pretty cool stuff there. And we're going to have an entire build series talking about what we actually did to the truck. So there you go. I've drawn this out long enough. I know you're probably sick of seeing my ugly face. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and wrap it up. If you haven't already done so, make sure to leave some comments down below. Smash that thumbs up button. You know what to do. And if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the YouTube channel with that bell notification turned on so you don't miss a single video.